welcome back to the channel. It's Nat Walsh. I am playing with a stamp set out of the Build a Garden range by Altenew. This stamp set comes with quite a few stencils, which we'll have a little bit of a look at later on, and obviously a stamp with heaps and heaps of sentiments. Congratulations. There's some we're going to use a happy anniversary. There's heaps of little sub-sentiments too. I will completely say that I struggled with this die and this stencil. I don't know. I just wasn't feeling, I will be completely honest, I was struggling, and it would be user error. It's nothing to do. Usually these stencils are pretty easy to figure out. They actually have etchings on them to let you know, but my little brain, she would not compute today. So I reverted back to what I enjoy doing the most. Having a flower that is not exactly defined with its petals and everything else. As you can see, the center of this is not. It also allows a little bit of freedom if you can just sort of let yourself get lost in the process, because you can pick where the petal goes. You can use the lines and have fun with it, because there is, with a lot of flowers, they're all different. They're not uniform, and so no one is really going to particularly know that even if you stuff up and make a petal into a leaf, who's going to know? No one. Maybe the designers might, but honestly, are they going to be looking at your card that carefully? I don't think so. They're just going to be enjoying your beautiful artwork, you know? So there is a little bit of freeing with that, and you will see that in the center when I get to it. I still have, even when I've sort of done the majority of the flower and the petals, I still do not have everything colored, and I go over it with a really light color blend. So the family that I'm using here today are R59, RV34, RV32 and RV11. So I go over those last little bits with just the 11 because, sorry, that's my phone, because you can easily just sort of go, you know what, that's just a turned over leaf. You know, it's no big deal, and no one's going to know anything else. So you can see here, there's a couple that I've just sort of gone around the edges. I am working at it slowly. And there's a couple there down towards my hand, just underneath my hand, that one, that I am saying it is folded over. So it's coming, you're actually seeing the backside of that petal. It doesn't matter. It's all good. It doesn't matter. The little flowers, I actually am going to color in the same color family, and they are a much simpler sort of little flower. I don't know what they are, but it's much simpler little flower. This whole stamp set is really huge. It, as you can see there, it easily, I think for the American peeps, you do a 5x7 card easily. So again, some of these petals are not exactly clearly defined on what is petal and what is the next one, but mostly they're pretty good. So we're just making the darkest color in the center and then working our way out to the lightest. Anything that is sitting over the top of something else, that underneath petal is going to be a little bit darker. It's going to project, the top flower is going to project a shadow onto the bottom one. So we're just working through. I'm nearly done with all my flowers. The green range that we're going to use today is YG67, YG17 and YG03. I am loving this color combination at the moment. I can't help myself. I'm just going to say it. I do get a little bit lost in the very left hand side because I think there is actually another flower, but again, it doesn't matter because this is pretty much the right hand side of my card here, pretty much the end of the stamp. It's the top half, I suppose you can call it, or one end of the stamp. What has been happening in my life? There has been a bit of drama llama. 3 weeks ago, I picked up a new car, and it was not the happy, awesome experience that one would hope. So it's a long story, and we won't get into that today, but I am loving and enjoying the new car. I've never had a brand new car, which I know there's plenty of people out there in the same situation. My husband always got the brand new cars because he had a car allowance, and so that was fine. He had to get certain level of cars to make sure he used his tax benefits to the best degree. So I always got the hand-me-downs, but it was my turn. And we did get an electric car, and I am very, very grateful because, as I said, not everyone can do what we can do, but I am enjoying the electric car and having a lot of fun with it. So that's all good. Here is a happy sentiment. I'm stamping it down with some VersaFine Onyx ink. Here's all the stencils. So you've got the middle. There's about 5, I think there is actually. This particular one has some leaves, as you can see, but it also has the centers of the flowers. So you can see there how far the flowers go out because it is a massive stamp. So I'm using a little bit of Altenew paperbark ink and using a very micro, I think it has a 10 on it. No, that's not the one. I've got one sitting on my desk, but it's a bigger one. It's still the small, but it's bigger. Anyway, and I'm just adding that in. So what I'm doing is I've got my VersaFine Onyx Black, and I'm very carefully going around the edges. This ink will go a little bit on the front, but it's really hard to see it now. But when we put it onto the cardstock, it will have a very fine line. So it's one easy way to actually add an edge to your card without adding any bulk. If you want to have, this is flipping around everywhere, but it's still the black. The VersaFine is still wet, and that is very much need to be noted that you need to give it a lot of time to dry because it is quite wet and you've gone over it a couple of times. I've raised it up with a bit of foam, and you can sort of see here it adds a very fine little black silhouette to your card base. So that is almost my card. So I will leave a link down below over to the blog where you can have a look at more photos. You can get all the details of what I used and the link to the Garland Grace. And that's my card. I hope you're well. Take care, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Bye.